That's awesome.
All right.
How we doing?
Great.
Glad you could make it.
Thank you for waiting for me.
Don't let it happen again.
Oh, it will. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, true. It is. I'm on time. Right at the wire.
Gary, you've already talked to everybody about how you're
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. All right, round the horn. Are we good? Absolutely. No. It's got my notes. You good? Good here? All right. Okay. Officer Garrett Parton, P-A-R-T-E-N, Minneapolis Public Information Officer. So today I'm going to give the basic facts as we released them earlier. I'll make some general comments, and then we'll take what limited questions that we can. On Friday, April 15th at approximately 11:35 p.m., officers from the 1st Precinct responded to the report of a shooting on the 300 block of Hennepin Avenue. Officers arrived and located a 10-year-old juvenile male with an apparent life-threatening gunshot wound. Officers immediately rendered medical aid, including CPR. Fire and EMS arrived and quickly transported to the hospital, and despite all efforts to save this child's life, the child died at the hospital. Our preliminary information indicates that the 10-year-old juvenile who was shot was alone in an apartment with another family member, also a juvenile. Forensic scientists from the Forensic Division of the Minneapolis Police Department responded to process the scene and to collect evidence. We also have investigators who responded to try to determine exactly what transpired in that apartment when the shooting occurred. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner will release the name of this young man along with the cause and the nature of death. I can add to that a death of any time, of any circumstance, is impactful. The death of a child in any circumstance is especially impactful. It impacts the first responders who went and dealt with this child, provided medical aid, performed CPR, the firefighters, the paramedics who transported, the doctors at the hospital who have to deal with a 10-year-old child dying in their presence. It impacts them. It impacts the community, the residents of that apartment building, the community as a whole, the city, and anybody who hears this story, I think, gives pause for a moment when they hear of a 10-year-old who has died. And most of all, it impacts this family. And I don't think there are words that we have that can express the depth of anguish and grief that they are facing today. To that, I will say that we know, I can share with you the facts that we have that are releasable. We have 2 juveniles alone in a residence with access to a gun. And that is always a bad recipe. Always. I cannot think of a single instance in life where that should be true. And so we are asking that any gun owner or anybody who has weapons in their homes to please take every measure necessary to secure those weapons. And that would include things like trigger locks and securing these weapons in a containment unit that is locked and not easy to get open, something like a gun safe. It is so necessary to be sure that you are securing these very dangerous weapons when children or anybody are present. At this time, I will take any questions that you may have. I will add that we do have a limited ability to share information in this case because it's still very preliminary, and we want to give our investigators the best possible opportunity for an unimpeded investigation. Yes, sir. Well, your question is specific in homicides. We're looking for suspects, arrests, and if this involves a family member, what do we move forward on? Again, we're still working to figure out what happened that day. In this case, we're going to do what we always do. Collect the evidence, figure out the facts, and then follow those facts wherever they take us. When those facts are very clear, then charges will be considered based on whatever those facts equal to a possible crime. I haven't. Well, no, I haven't said it here. There's. I guess I don't. I guess I don't know what to say there.
Can you also speak more to the effect that this has on officers seeing victims?
It has been said many times, because it's always true, that when first responders have to deal with a child, somebody who has a level of innocence, someone who deserves the protection of adults, when something tragic happens to them, it does impact all of us very significantly. You know, we have officers who are performing CPR on a young child. That has an impact on them that doesn't go away quickly. We have done, you know, the leadership in the Minneapolis Department takes note of that. They have sought to take care of these officers and make sure they have the support they need in dealing with the situation. But I thank you for asking that. It does impact.
I know you said the ME is going to release the identity. Is there any timeline on that? Do you suppose?
I don't have a timeline on that. Sometimes it's days, sometimes it's weeks. That's up to the Hennepin County Medical Examiner on that one. Yep.
Family members, specifically today, what does this investigation look like surrounding that family member? Are your officers speaking with that person?
I can tell you that our investigators have responded. They are talking with anybody who may be involved and seeking others who maybe we haven't talked to. And again, we're going to follow the facts and see the evidence and see where that leads. It's the same for any death investigation. Who's involved, how are they involved, and what does that equal in regard to negligibility, a crime, or just a horrible accident?
Do you know how long after arriving at the hospital this was?
I don't.
Did you say which floor was that?
I did not.
Did you?
I think
No. No.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you have all your mics right there, so I don't have to take anything off. Thank you.